Okay, so this is gonna be take number 4 of this friggin' reaction. How's it going, guys? My name is Steven, and welcome to Crownless TV. No, I don't do a lot of these live reactions and stuff, and as far as basketball stuff is concerned, I had another video planned that I was editing in the midst of this game that just concluded, but with every development that has come for the past couple hours, I have to reset everything, and I'm gonna plan to start a new video regarding the situation with the Celtics because that's what I want to talk about. But that's neither here or there. We're gonna talk about this game that just concluded, Game 7 of the Bucks Brooklyn Nets series. The Nets almost beating the Bucks on a Kevin Durant missed 3, and oh man, I really wanted him to hit that game winner, man. I ain't gonna lie. If you guys don't know yet, my favorite player is actually Kevin Durant. My type of players are the ones who have a bag and they just get buckets and they can shoot the ball. KD's like at the top for that list, and man, I was getting giddy just watching him tear up the Bucks. This is crazy to see what he's done, with catastrophic injury that he had with the Achilles. And the history dictates that if you get an Achilles injury, there's no way back from it. You don't really get back to your best basketball. I mean, sometimes you have like a season, but you have one more season where you actually play good basketball. But I mean, in KD's case, it looks like he never had the injury. As a matter of fact, I think he's playing the best ball of his career. And this is crazy to him, so I just want to give him some flowers from that perspective. And it's just crazy, man. Just seeing him, like, not just with the scoring, but with the playmaking as well. And I was talking with one of my homies, and he's like, "Oh, KD's never done this." But Skip Bayless is to LeBron. I think he's being that for KD. So, I mean, it is what it is. Everyone has their opinions, but I'm not missing anything as far as KD's game is concerned. I've always thought that he's not just a scorer. He's everything you want in an offensive player. And sometimes, I think about, like, if I could be any basketball player for one game, for one day, who would I be? And I could have gone to a lot of guys, but I want to be KD because, I want to be the type of player that just gets buckets, and just makes the opponent look silly. And KD's exactly that, just being 6'11", shoot over a bunch of guys who wouldn't pass on Tinder. But at the same time, outquick the guys who are, I guess that's the best way I can put it. But it's not just that with him, he can lock up. He's a decent playmaker, and people won't really see that because all they're fixated upon is the scoring. And I feel like a lot of those guys only watch the box score. With this series, it kind of revealed itself to everybody, and I hope that everyone's respect for KD goes up. But obviously, that's not going to be the case. Everyone's always going to point to the fact that he can't win with anybody else. He can't win without Curry or the Warriors and stuff like that. It is what it is, but that's just the way of life. We all love and hate something, I guess, is the best way I could put it. But I had also actually planned to react to his Game 5 much earlier this week, but I wanted to see how the series was going to end. It's hard for me to chart where that performance would be among the greatest performances of all time in the playoffs, so I wanted to wait and see how the series is going to end. And obviously they lost and he didn't make the shot, but I mean, even the Game 7 is like, man, the KD, man, I gotta call this man Kevin Blood Durant, my brother. I don't know how this should react. I freaking love KD, man. Pretty much went back to where he left off when in the last game in Brooklyn. So he scored, I believe it's 48 points again. So yeah, he had another 48-point game. He had 9 rebounds and 6 assists. That's pretty damn good. Like, that's a good follow-up. It would have been cemented among probably even the 10 greatest performances in playoff history to this point. Actually, no, let me not go that far. Obviously, games in the finals are much bigger than this, and he's promo at the highest level in that stage as well, so let me not go there yet. But these 2 games, it's definitely one of the top games I've seen in my lifetime in the playoffs. I don't know yet if it's the best. I wouldn't be mad if I had to defend these games against like other performances as well. Obviously, earlier this year, the Dame had his 55-point game. Jason Tatum also carried the Celtics at certain points, and let me sneeze real quick. Alright, my bad. The playoff game that stands out to me is D-Book's closeout game against the Lakers, and Ja had a couple games as well. For me, the top of the top to this point in the playoffs is KD's last 2 games, and I guess the best way I can describe him is like, so he had 2 games, right? Game 5 and Game 7. And Tupac had All Eyes on Me. And Game 5 and Game 7 are KD's All Eyes on Me. As a hip-hop head, kind of, I'm not going to go out there and say that All Eyes on Me is the greatest rap album of all time. But I will say that it's my favorite work of Tupac. And that's exactly what KD gave me. Not just me, but all of us, I guess. So really, really special performance from KD, and I gotta give the man his flowers. And at this point, this is turning to like me just freaking getting aroused by KD. So let's all give our props to the Bucks. I thought that after KD's Game 5, the momentum had swung all the way to Brooklyn, and the Bucks responded nicely. And you kind of see that in Milwaukee, the other guys for Brooklyn just didn't step up, and KD and James Harden looked super gas, and they really needed the help of the other guys. And even in Game 7, it kind of showed itself. Like, there were a lot of opportunities where both Milwaukee and Brooklyn left winning plays on the table. Obviously, there's the shot clock violation with Brook Lopez, and the open Joe Harris 3. And literally, when he got the ball, I'm like, oh no. I was like, oh shit. He bricked it. And like I said, I'm congratulating the Bucks on this section. And I also want to give big ups to Jrue Holiday, who showed up at the end of that game. And among like all the point guards that I wanted in the league over the past couple of years, I've wanted the Celtics so bad to trade for Jrue Holiday, because he fits exactly what Boston needed, because they already had obviously Tatum and Brown to carry the scoring load. So they needed a guy the producer kind of, the guy who just takes care of everything else, whether it's like playmaking or defending. And he's one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, and he's a guy that I've been wanting for a while. And he's also like, it's kind of weird with this game, especially like he had a super off game, and he's usually like, he's a capable shooter. You could trust him to get a bucket every once in a while. And for some reason this game, it just wasn't clicking, but it did at the end of the game, and just gotta give him his props. And there were also points in this game where I thought he was making it tough on KD. Props to him, and also to PJ Tucker. I mean, KD gave you the business, but you made it as tough on him, so it's not as people will see it's one-sided, but you still made it harder on him. And especially that the games in Milwaukee, you just made him work for every bucket. So I don't know if give him the business is the right word, but you definitely made him work, I guess is what I'm trying to say. This series, like, Giannis to me has I loved Giannis before this series, but I don't know, to me he got exposed in this series. And I guess the thing that got me question my perception of him is when I think I saw a video on Instagram where he was trying to dance on Blake Griffin, and he did a step back and he drove back to the rim, which is like, and I was texting with a homie, and he said, man, did you see Giannis' step back drive? And I told him, like, yo, read what you just said. He just did a step back drive. I'm like, if you're doing a step back, why don't you just pull up, man? Like, Giannis, I mean, it's just overbearing to watch him. Like, his game to me, I mean, if Boston had him, would I have taken him? Maybe, because obviously this is a guy who's won 2 MVPs, and which is shocking in and of itself. You know, an MVP cannot make free throws, and he's dominated the way that he has. So yeah, big props to him. I mean, but you gotta get it back, man. You gotta work on your free throws, and you gotta at least develop some post moves or something, just to add some flavor to your game, man. Cause I ain't gonna lie, your shit's boring. My bad, Giannis. I still like your approach to the game, but I'm just saying, man, you need to work on your game. Now that Brooklyn is gone, I guess, who do I consider the favorite now? I think, to me, it's super wide open still. I'd say if everyone was healthy with the remaining teams, I'd say Phoenix is the favorite. But Chris Paul has such an effect on that team that I don't know if we could call them that. But at the same time, you know, the Clippers don't have Kawhi, and I think if everybody was healthy, whoever comes out of that series is probably the winner of this year's NBA championship. But I don't know yet. How about the East? Like, who would I want the Bucks to face? I think Philly matches up the best with everybody, but even they have their own weaknesses, and No, especially with their point guard Ben, who, believe it or not, I mean, would I want him on Boston? Maybe. I mean, his game kind of fits the style that I want to see them play and what type of team I want them to be. But I don't know, with him it's a question mark too. If I were the Bucks, I want the Hawks because I think that's a mismatch in my opinion. And if Philly wins, on the other hand, I think it's as even as it could be. It's definitely going to be a long series if the Bucks and Sixers meet up. I mean, all in all, there's just injuries everywhere that I think make the entire thing wide open. You know what? Now that I think about it, I think Milwaukee is the last team that's really fully healthy. They don't really have as nagging injuries as all the other teams, and had Brooklyn stayed healthy and Kyrie not broken, but twisted his ankle. I think the Nets easily win this series, but obviously it is what it is. Anyway, with the remaining teams, I guess, yeah, you could say Milwaukee's the favorite because they're the healthiest team at this point. But if Chris Paul does play, I think they have as good a shot as everybody. I guess another question I had was, would the series have been different if Kyrie was playing, even if he was just a decoy for this game? I don't know that, and you know, with the way he plays his game, that's good for his ankles and stuff, and obviously don't want a guy to end his career prematurely, and you know, I have my feelings as a Celtics fan with Kyrie, but I don't wish nothing like injuries, or I don't wish for him to get hurt or anything. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Would that have made a difference? I don't know yet. And obviously they're gonna regret some plays here and there, and you know, that's just the way it is with life. Sometimes you make, sometimes you miss, and that's just the way it is for basketball as well. So yeah, I guess that concludes my super discombobulated reaction to Game 7 of Milwaukee versus Brooklyn. Congratulations to the Bucks. I hope that you do well in the finals. I mean, I hope you do well in the next series. And Giannis, please work on your free throws and please have a bag before the series with the Hawks and the Sixers end, because you're gonna be in trouble, my guy. Yeah, anyway, that's gonna do it for this quick reaction. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.